What if the most controversial figure in vaccine debates walked straight into the heart of vaccine production? What happened next left everyone speechless. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had long been a polarizing figure. To some, he was a crusader for transparency in medicine and public health. To others, he was a dangerous skeptic with the power to erode trust in vaccines. When he was appointed Secretary of Health and Human Services, the medical community was on edge. Would he disrupt the entire vaccine infrastructure, or would he prove his critics wrong? One morning, without prior notice, RFK Jr. arrived at the headquarters of one of the largest vaccine manufacturers in the United States. It was a facility known for its production of essential immunizations, from measles and polio to the latest COVID-19 booster shots. As he stepped into the facility, flanked by a few aides and security personnel, the factory director, Dr. Elaine Park, a renowned microbiologist, watched him cautiously. She had prepared for an argument, expecting an adversarial stance. But what followed was something no one expected. "I want to see everything," RFK Jr. said, his voice calm yet firm. "Not a PR tour, the real process. Show me how vaccines are made, tested, and approved." Dr. Park was momentarily taken aback. She had expected skepticism, but not curiosity. "All right," she said after a pause. "Follow me." She led him through the facility, explaining each phase of vaccine production. He asked sharp, technical questions, revealing a deeper understanding than many had assumed. He wanted to know about raw materials, contamination risks, testing phases, and approval bottlenecks. He wanted to hear from the employees on the ground, not just the executives. They reached the testing station, where quality control measures were in place. "This is where we ensure each batch meets federal safety standards," Dr. Park explained. "But with our tight timelines, some worry about anomalies slipping through the cracks." RFK Jr. stopped in his tracks. "Missed anomalies? Explain that to me." She hesitated. "The truth is, under pressure to produce faster, some safety checks are rushed. Not deliberately, but it's a known issue. We rely on automated systems, and sometimes human oversight is minimal. Also, whistleblowers fear speaking out because of industry pressure." A tense silence filled the room. The factory employees braced themselves. Was this the moment he would publicly denounce the industry? Would he call for shutting down vaccine production altogether? But RFK Jr. did something unexpected. RFK Jr. turned to Dr. Park and the staff. "Then let's fix it. Together," he said. The entire room seemed to freeze. "I'm not here to shut you down," he continued. "I'm here to make sure the American people can trust what you do. We need vaccines that people take not because they're forced to, but because they believe in their safety. Let's establish an independent oversight board, free from corporate influence. Let's slow production timelines if necessary, but let's make safety our #1 priority." Dr. Park blinked, processing his words. "You'd support that?" "Absolutely," RFK Jr. said. "Transparency builds trust. Let's give people a reason to believe in vaccines again, by proving they're safe, not just saying they are." News of RFK Jr.'s proposal spread like wildfire. Media outlets speculated wildly. Was this the beginning of a new vaccine era, or a calculated political move? Pharmaceutical lobbyists were furious. Government agencies were cautious. Vaccine advocates were split. Some saw this as a dangerous concession to skepticism, while others saw it as an opportunity to restore public faith in immunization. But the most surprising outcome was from the public. A survey conducted 6 months after RFK Jr.'s initiative revealed a shocking statistic. Public trust in vaccines had increased for the first time in decades. Why? Because the new oversight system brought radical transparency. Vaccine manufacturers were now required to disclose more data, welcome third-party audits, and even acknowledge risks openly, something unheard of before. The changes led to improved vaccine safety measures, reducing adverse reaction rates by nearly 30%. The public began seeing vaccines not as a government mandate, but as a genuinely safe health measure. At a press conference a year later, Dr. Park stood next to RFK Jr. "I was once skeptical of his leadership," she admitted, "but today I stand with him. Because public health isn't about politics, it's about trust. And trust is earned, not demanded." RFK Jr. smiled slightly. "We proved that transparency isn't our enemy," he said. "It's our greatest ally." The success of RFK Jr.'s initiative echoed far beyond the vaccine industry. It set a precedent for greater accountability in pharmaceuticals, food safety, and even environmental policies. It became a case study in leadership classes how an unlikely figure, known for his opposition to mainstream narratives, could transform an industry through dialogue rather than destruction. In the end, RFK Jr. didn't destroy vaccines. He saved them. And in doing so, he changed the course of public health forever. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. True leadership is not about enforcing blind obedience or dismantling institutions. It's about listening, questioning, and finding solutions that restore faith rather than break it. Whether you support RFK Jr. or not, his actions in this story remind us that even the most divided worlds can find common ground when transparency and integrity come first. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Let's keep the conversation going. What do you think about RFK Jr.'s approach? Would it work in real life? Let us know in the comments.